Once again, using the New American Standard Version of the Bible, our pattern in 2 Thessalonians can be listed as follows. We have now arrived at the fourth stage in this series, which correlates with the seventh prophecy and trumpet. This should also correlate with the day of the Lord based on how Paul starts his discourse in 2 Thessalonians. The following is from the English Standard Version. Now concerning the coming of our Lord Jesus Christ and our being gathered together to him, we ask you, brothers, not to be quickly shaken in mind or alarmed, either by a spirit or a spoken word, or a letter seeming to be from us, to the effect that the day of the Lord has come. Let no one deceive you in any way, for that day will not come unless the rebellion comes first, and the man of lawlessness is revealed, the son of destruction. What was Paul writing in regard to? The coming of our Lord Jesus Christ and our being gathered together to him, which equates to the day of the Lord. First, the rebellion or apostasy or falling away. Then the revealing of this man of lawlessness. Once revealed, he is slain with the breath of the mouth of the Lord and brought to an end by the appearance of his coming. Who is this man of lawlessness? He denotes the essence of pride, the inordinate love of the self, which Paul called the old man and body of sin. This is made evident by 2 Thessalonians 2:4, where we read, who opposes and exalts himself. With this in mind, consider the following. The lofty looks of man shall be humbled, the haughtiness of men shall be bowed down, and the Lord alone shall be exalted in that day. For the day of the Lord of hosts shall come upon everything proud and lofty, upon everything lifted up, and it shall be brought low. What do we read? The lofty looks of man, the haughtiness of men, everything proud and lofty, and everything lifted up. And all of this will be brought low in the day of the Lord of hosts. Might this help explain the following? Woe to you who desire the day of the Lord! For what good is the day of the Lord to you? It will be darkness and not light. Is not the day of the Lord darkness and not light? Is it not very dark, with no brightness in it? By all accounts, the day of the Lord is not necessarily a good thing, depending on the condition of our hearts and minds. Am I right? Consider what Elwin Roach wrote in his article, The Apocalypse, Part 15, The Day of the Lord. Although some were spared, the day of the Lord was not a time of peace and tranquility. It was a very sobering season. The food supply was cut off. Joy and gladness ceased. Seed rotted in the ground. The garners were bare, and the barns destroyed. The beasts and herds of cattle were without pasture. The rivers dried up, as fire consumed the pastures and trees of the fields and wilderness. Malachi called the day of the Lord a great and dreadful day. Zephaniah said that the day would bring tears and bitterness to even the mighty men. It was a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day when all good things were wasted and laid desolate, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness. It was a day of being void of God's blessings. The walled cities and their high towers were of no protection. The distress was so great upon men that they walked as if blinded by blazing firebrands. Their blood poured out like well springs upon the ground. There was so much death and carnage that their flesh was of no more value than dung, and their silver and gold were not able to deliver them in that terrible day of the Lord. Ezekiel, Peter, Paul, and our Lord Jesus said very much the same about this majestic day of woe upon the self-exalted natural man. It appears to be evident that the day of the Lord is a response to man's rebellion, more specifically to the rebellion or falling away of his people, the church. Might this be why Peter declared the following? for it is time for judgment to begin at the household of God. And if it begins with us, what will be the outcome for those who do not obey the gospel of God? And if the righteous is scarcely saved, what will become of the ungodly and the sinner? Given the various descriptions regarding the day of the Lord, it should be clear to us that this is not a natural day consisting of 12 or 24 hours. Again, from Elwin Roach, "There's a day, however, that this will be fulfilled. It is a promise, and that is the real day of rest of which we enter. This is the perfect day that shines brighter day by day as its presence unveils the apocalypse of Jesus Christ. It is the overpowering light of the Son of God. That is the Lord's day. Not Saturday, not Sunday, not Monday, nor any other 12 or 24-hour period of time. The only day that is clean and undefiled is that of our Lord's rest, and it is that day that we know. Try as man will, he cannot add up enough scriptures that will equal the Lord's day. For the fact is, there's not even one verse to enter the equation. We can remember and mark in our inner man what a unique, clean day the one of rest truly is, yet great scrutiny and searching will fail in the futile task of proving by the scriptures that the day of the Lord can be marked on any calendar of the world. The day of the Lord is a realm wherein Jesus is shining in his brilliant glory. That is what the Lord's day is. Notwithstanding, this fact still does not stop people from presuming it to be otherwise. But what else can we expect? They have heard it preached and taught all their lives that it is a literal day of the sun setting and the sun rising. But false claims neither make Saturday nor Sunday the Lord's day. As it is with any doctrinal error that is taught by using faulty data, it will fall on its face and die when put to the test. On the first day of creation, God said, "Let there be light," and there was light, and God called the light day. This was not the light of the sun, moon, or stars, for these were created on the fourth day. So what was this light? It was the light of our Creator, for God, who said, "Let light shine out of darkness," has shone in our hearts to give the light of the knowledge of the glory of God in the face of Jesus Christ. Is it not true that on the Mount of Transfiguration that his face did shine as the sun? When John beheld him on the island of Patmos, did he not say that his face was like the sun shining in full strength? Immediately following this glorious vision of the Christ, John fell at his feet as though dead, for the carnal man, that man of lawlessness, cannot survive in the full-on light and presence of the Lord. And so it is that Paul declared that the man of lawlessness will be brought to an end by the appearance of his coming, that is, by the manifestation of his presence. In our next video study, we will consider the seventh trumpet and its correlation with the day of the Lord.